Welcome back. This morning we're looking back at the most popular food trends in Metro Detroit over the past year.
Yeah, and we're talking about those trends for better or for worse with the editor of Eater Detroit, Serena Daniels. Good morning.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
So it was most exciting trends and most annoying. So let's start on the positive side. What was some of the feedback on most exciting?
I think the most exciting thing for a lot of people has been this influx of coffee shops that have opened over the past, it's really been gaining momentum over the past several years, but we're really starting to see it this year.
Yeah.
As soon as you find a favorite, it seems like you've got another one to try out, and all of a sudden you like that when you forget you had a favorite.
Right.
Yeah.
I do that with...
It was interesting, too. Like, Kim DeGiulio started her coffee club, and it was like all these new coffee spots all over the metro area.
Yeah.
Talk about a little bit, a lot of people have this kind of dig a little bit when we see outside Detroit restaurants coming to town and what they thought about that. Talk about how that grabbed you this year.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell what the restaurant landscape is going to look like from one year to the next until something opens up. And so what we've seen a lot this year are a lot of several like hotel restaurants, especially downtown. A lot of times we're seeing outside hospitality groups come in and, kind of have a concept in mind or agreed upon. But then, the question becomes, what happens to the local vibe, And so that's the thing that I kind of pay attention to.
We have a lot of local Detroit chefs who are fantastic and have great places.
Yeah. Talk about some of the other trends. I thought one was cool where you were featuring like a bookstore in Grosse Pointe Farms that also is a cafe and a bar.
Yeah.
So these new concepts.
Yeah. So that's another place. That's actually a place I have to get to soon. I live over in Southwest Detroit, and so like you said, our favorite coffee shops or cafes or restaurants tend to be, a little bit closer to where we live. But yeah, we're actually seeing another place I reported on earlier this year called Vesper. It's also going to be like a wine bar, coffee shop, bookstore. You can pick up a cookbook if you want to. So, it's really exciting to see this interesting uses spaces.
Yeah, love it. Is there any one trend or maybe even one restaurant that you know that's coming on the horizon for 2024 that you're excited about?
Yeah, I'm really excited about how Mexican food has evolved over the years in Metro Detroit. Typically, we'd see it around Southwest area, maybe Downriver or Pontiac. We're starting to see people, restaurants and chefs branch out of like what you would expect. And so we're seeing a lot of that throughout Detroit.
Yeah.
There's a place called Vecino that's going to be opening soon in the, next couple months or so. And that's supposed to give us more of like a regional Mexico City kind of vibes, which should be really exciting.
That sounds exciting.
And I was thinking about Mezcal, because that's been recently opening in Midtown.
Yeah.
It's like on my list to try. I haven't been there yet, but once again, getting out of those traditional kind of Mexican towns, Southwest Detroit areas.
Yeah. No, I went to Mezcal a few months ago. I had this agua chile, the ribeye, which is like, agua chile is like traditionally shrimp with like this green sauce. This was like a little bit more savory, and it was just really cool to see something different in the city. Yeah.
Anything else? Actually, I remember seeing built-in tips was one of the feedback of like a good trend. It had to come from like a restaurateur or somebody that works in the business.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a good trend. I didn't read too much into some of the responses. I know that, people's opinions about like tips or the added fees, it's becoming one of those topics of discussion whenever we're talking about going out to restaurants. But it's just one of those things that people are paying attention to. Of course, most of the people I work with are eating out all the time, and they pay attention to all those little details.
It's so great.
There was a fun one that I actually jotted down because I've been seeing this more and more, and I see it in other states. It's like restaurants that then turn into clubs later in the evening.
Yeah.
And somebody coined it a club-staurant.
Yeah, a club-staurant, yeah.
But that was like the annoying side, which it kind of gives your restaurant new life, turns it into, an entertainment venue, but.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on like who you're asking. You know, if you want that kind of vibe after a meal, then, we're starting to see some of these places called, one is called Zuzu, I believe.
Yeah, I went to Zuzu, but it's upstairs. It's separate from the restaurant experience, so it's not like, all of a sudden you're sitting having dinner and then a party breaks out.
Yeah.
It's at least on another level.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Well, that's
finish, you don't have
good.
to go
That's
somewhere
good.
else. You just
Yeah.
go up the stairs.
Yeah.
I love
Right,
those
right.
places,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I didn't even get a chance to ask you about food trucks. There's so much you could cover. We could
I
talk
know.
all day, I feel like, just on how things are changing. But Serena Daniels, thanks for coming in. We appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, thank
and
you
remind
so
people
much.
what the website is where they can catch your work.
Sure. It's detroit.eater.com.
Yeah. Also has the hottest new restaurants of 2023, some that you may not have heard of, may not have tried, but I was looking at that list too, like taking some notes.
Good.
It's just a great resource for, your list of where you want to go.
Print it out, put it on the fridge. Friday night comes, we're going here.
Thank you for doing all the work for us.
Yes, yeah, for
Appreciate you
sure. No
coming in.
problem.
Great to have you here, Serena.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Let's get a